Karl Rove, best-selling author, former White House Deputy Chief of Staff. Karl, you know, the last four Democratic nominees started the ball rolling by winning here first. The record for Republicans is a little more spotty. How important will it be, let's say, for Bernie Sanders to secure the win that he appears to be building toward in some of these polls in this state?
Well, first of all, let's have a cautionary note about polls. Remember, we're talking about relatively small sample sizes.
Right.
Here's the Real Clear Politics average. It does show Sanders ahead, 23.8 to 20.2 for Biden. But let's take a look at some of the recent polls here in Iowa. Monmouth, it has Sanders 21, Biden 23, but the plus and minus is 4.2. So Sanders could be at 25 or 17, and Biden could be at 27 or 19. Iowa State, Sanders ahead 24 to 15, but it's nearly a 5-point plus or minus. So Sanders could be as high as 29 or as low as 19, and Biden could be at 10 or he could be at 20. And so we got to be careful about it right from the beginning. Hard to poll a primary, and these are relatively small sample sizes with a lot of room for error. And then you got the 15% problem. If you're in a precinct where there's an also-ran, a Tom Steyer, or maybe an Amy Klobuchar, or maybe Elizabeth Warren or Buttigieg in your primary, those people have got to pick a second choice in order to have a voice or go home. And where those people are and how they play out. This is going to be a very long night, in my opinion, and we are likely to see. I would not be surprised to see 3 people get a bunch of delegates. I would not be surprised to see 4 candidates split up the state's 41 delegates. I wouldn't even be surprised to see 5 candidates share that 41-person delegate pool.
Well, you're quite right. I mean, I was looking at some of the polls in the past, largely for the Democrats, that consistently understated the support for the emerging winner of the state. Now, of course, to your point, there could be multiple winners in the state. But, you know, whatever you make of Bernie Sanders' chances, I'd be curious, Karl, what you make of the growing concern among party, higher ups. Rahm Emanuel, the latest in today's Wall Street Journal, to say, we are blowing our chances right now with this big focus on really big progressive spenders. What did you make of it?
Yeah. Well, look, I think this is a sign of 2 things. One is it's a sign that people are acknowledging that Bernie is real, that Bernie has been moving, that Bernie here at the end in Iowa and nationwide has been moving up in the polls. And second of all, a real fear that a self-proclaimed democratic socialist who honeymooned in the former Soviet Union, which was then the Soviet Union, and who has this unbelievable array of big spending programs, and told Nora O'Donnell the other day that he didn't know how much they would cost and it didn't matter. Yeah, there are a lot of Democrats who worry that that's exactly the kind of person who's going to alienate those suburbanites who came and voted Democrat in 2018 after voting for Donald Trump in 2016. They're afraid he's going to alienate them and send them back into the Republican column. And I, for one, think they're absolutely right on this. I think if there's an advantage that Donald Trump has, the more left-wing the Democratic nominee is, the easier it is for him to make a disciplined case to the suburbanites. You know what? You may not like how I handle myself occasionally. You may like some of my policies. You acknowledge the economy is good, but you prefer not to vote for me. But take a close look at the views and values of that person who's got the Democratic nominee.
Well said. Good catching up with you, Karl. Thank you very, very much.